I'm so tired. I'm so freaking tired. I wasn't kidding when I said this video would have come out ages ago, but Savage was, well, it was pretty goddamn savage, and then the whole nodule debacle, Jesus Christ. But if you think it lessened my experience, it absolutely did not. It just upset me that I couldn't put out the video sooner. I actually welcome this extreme difficulty and abysmally low drop rates. It feels like classic Monster Hunter. I think modern Monster Hunter suffers from being able to make everything in just a few hunts. The only way Wilds remedies this is if you play multiple weapons and you really enjoy the Fashion Hunter grind, because at that point, you're hunting things 1,000 times to try to create everything. Fortunately, that's absolutely been the case for me. It's the reason why I've put over 450 hours so far, and I've had a blast the entire time. The release of this collaboration doubled as Title Update 3, and I'm gonna be real with you, having Omega as the only monster introduced in this update was extremely disappointing. Title Update 1 also only had Mizu as a new monster, but at least that update introduced the Grand Hub, and you can also rehunt Zoshia, so there was a lot of substance to that one. Title Update 2 had 2 monsters, and that alone made that update feel pretty meaty, but the addition of layered weapons set Title Update 2 as the gold standard. Title Update 3 sort of felt lackluster and at the same time sort of didn't, but before I truly talk about Title Update 3, let's talk about what happened before it. If you recall, 9-star monsters and the new Talisman endgame grind were released early because a small vocal minority of terminally online retards wouldn't shut the fuck up about the amount of content in the game and the difficulty, despite never actually engaging with the vast amount of content in the game, let alone the actual endgame content. But I digress. 9 stars and the Talisman grind were moved out of Title Update 3. Personally, I feel like this release was a little undercooked. The list of 9-star monsters were the exact same as 8 stars. You could grind for talismans, but you don't get any hunter symbols at all. Meaning once you get a decent talisman, you have literally no incentive to hunt 9-star monsters, which is what happened to me pretty early on. These monsters also felt way overtuned in their favor. It's not fun to nearly die in a single hit, have to run away to heal, jump back in to slap it once or twice, nearly get killed in a single hit again, and rinse and repeat. Gore already felt extremely difficult as an 8-star monster, but he is straight up on crack as a 9-star. This is all to say that this felt like a knee-jerk reaction to criticism from people that don't actually engage with endgame content. I've spoken on this before in regards to the weird hate this game gets back when I gave my final thoughts for the Flame Fade Festival. You can check out the Flame Fade video or the specific clip where I gave my final thoughts. It's on the Clips channel, and you can also find it under the Reviews and Impressions playlist on the main channel. Anyways, the 9-star endgame update would have hit a lot better if it dropped with augmentations and a significantly larger list of monsters. At the very least, in Title Update 3, more monsters were given the 9-star treatment. Even better that it's lower tiered monsters like the Blaganga, although they're on rotation as event quests, which is extremely stupid. And of course, they suffer from the same issues as the rest of the 9 stars where they're overtuned. To quickly cover the talismans you get as a reward, pretty cool honestly, but the talismans should have exclusively had weapon decoration slots. Armor deco slots are extremely common, and in my experience, getting one with a weapon decoration slot is pretty rare, and I'm not entirely sure if it goes beyond a level 1 deco slot. I already hate the weapon armor deco split in this game, and this was a golden opportunity to try to remedy the fact that you hardly get to use any weapon decorations. But of course, in the end, you'll basically get even more armor deco slots. At the very least, the talismans themselves can have pretty awesome weapon skills, so all in all, not the worst thing in the world. This new endgame does kind of make talisman crafting kind of useless though, since these 9-star rewards are typically infinitely better, but I suppose that's the reason why they're endgame. Now, it felt relevant to talk about that since it's a major change to the endgame that was removed from Title Update 3 and released early, leaving this new major update feeling, as mentioned before, sort of lackluster. Title Update 3 pretty much consists of the Omega Hunt, some quality of life changes, new 9-star monsters in rotation, and an arc-tempered hunt we'll see later on. Okay, time to talk Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy. I've beaten Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 Remake, 13, 2, 14 from base game through Stormblood, and Stranger of Paradise. I've also played a huge chunk of 5 and dabbled in 4 the After Years, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, Crystal Chronicles, and the Crystal Bearers. I also own a number of titles I've never played, and the reason there are so many I haven't beaten or even played is because I keep replaying the ones I have beaten, except a different version that I haven't beaten yet. I hope that waterfall of words that just came crashing down was understandable. All in all, yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying I love Final Fantasy. I freaking loved Behemoth back in World. I mean, I just love Behemoth as a monster in general as well. The rewards were absolutely incredible too. I mean, that Draken armor was badass. Omega, on the other hand, well, I've never fought him in a Final Fantasy game, and I honestly didn't even know he existed until the collaboration reveal trailer. So you can imagine just how disappointed I was that it wasn't Bahamut, Leviathan. Hell, we knew it was a 14 crossover. I'd even take good King Mogomog. But no, it was a robot. It's more on me simply because I'd never even seen him in a Final Fantasy before. Learning about him in my own time and through Wilds, Omega is actually pretty awesome. And I'll admit, seeing everyone get hyped by the fact that Omega pretty much uses a Celtis skeleton did get me pretty hyped as well. That's right, baby, this is Monster Hunter 4-2. Celtis and Celtis Queen are confirmed. Anyways, before getting into Omega, you fight Nursilla clone. This clone is basically a sort of construct subspecies, and I cannot state just how much I love this thing. This is the first time Nursilla has been given 7-star status in this game, and the clone hunt itself is one of the most unique hunts in the game, due to its utilization of frickin' laser beams. Fortunately, it's not locked behind a one-time assignment. You can rehunt it through an optional quest. I ended up loving this hunt so much that I genuinely wish we could get a whole line of these monsters. Hell, I would love to see a Monster Hunter spin-off series where you hunt robot versions of familiar monsters as well as entirely new space creatures. Honestly, I pretty much just want to have Monster Hunter gameplay in a completely different setting and time period without it ruining the mainline series. So yeah, awesome that Nursilla randomly got so much love in this collaboration. Monster Hunter 4-2. Even better that you can rehunt it, but insanely disappointing that you just know the clone won't get a master rank version or that other monsters won't get the clone treatment. Also, extremely odd that the clone doesn't show up in your field guide despite the fact that it has a unique icon and name. Okay, finally onto the Omega hunt itself. It's fucking tight. I think Behemoth is the significantly better monster, but Omega is the significantly better hunt. 4 phases of increasing difficulty, with phase 3 requiring you to quickly take care of a Nursilla clone that acts like a DPS check. The music change after Delta attack is also pretty damn sick. This hunt is not for the faint of heart. You're on your toes for the entire fight, even more so compared to an arc-tempered monster. It's just an excellent hunt all around, as long as you're hunting with support hunters or you have competent friends. As expected, hunting with randoms is an extremely painful experience. It pretty much has been since the start of the 5th generation. And it's events like Behemoth, Leshen, Alatrion, and now Omega where it really shows just how poorly modern hunters are. This isn't me bragging about my skills. I might be better than average, but I don't think I'm particularly great when there are players who are so much better than I am. The regular Omega hunt is leagues easier to do with support hunters. Unfortunately, unless you're a god at this game, the Savage hunt will require a full party of real hunters. This was the worst part of the whole collaboration and a large reason why it took forever for this video to come out. It was a nightmare finding capable hunters. At the very least, you do need someone to play a healer role, and that's kind of tough. I'm an all-out attacker, which means I'm a horrendous healer. It's difficult for me to try to keep up with the health bars of my fellow hunters. The most I can do is bring healing powders. I spent a large portion of my time trying to join SOS hunts, since I can at least vet the players who have already joined. If I see a low hunter rank, you better believe I'm not joining. Not that a hunter rank correlates with a player's skill, but more often than not, it at least shows who actually plays the game regularly and who simply came back just to try out the new hunt. This method worked a whole one time. And honestly, the worst part about this method is parsing through all the manual accept hunts that require the leader to manually accept your join request. Which of course won't happen because they're fighting freaking Omega. Even then, manual accept quests shouldn't even show up on SOS searches. There should absolutely be a way to filter out a range of hunter ranks though. Anyways, I wasted a lot of time failing hunt after hunt in random lobbies until finally I found a decent team. I was able to keep at least 2 hunters for an immediate rerun of the hunt, and I got a second victory, and at that point I bounced since I got all my 2.0 tickets. You better believe I grinded materials with support hunters on the regular version of the hunt. But oh boy, did that take fucking forever because the nodule just would not drop. 23 goddamn successful hunts. 23 goddamn successful hunts. I genuinely don't know how many times I failed it. It was a lot, I can tell you that much. It took a long time, and by the end of it, I was beyond exhausted. But damn if it's not the most OG Monster Hunter experience I've had since the start of the modern era. And honestly, I fucking loved it, and I'll have to go through this all over again for my alt hunter. Alright, let's talk rewards, starting with pendants. Lil Omega and Cactuar are awesome, although Cactuar is slightly disappointing. He's definitely not running as fast as he should be. The little guy should look like he's running on crack. Instead, it looks like he's missing 3/4 of his frames, so that sucks. Hunter profile. The nameplates are great, the background is gorgeous, the pose is tight, and you get a number of music tracks that are fantastic and can be used in your tent as well. Gestures. I was initially confused as to why the Cactuar gesture wasn't categorized as a pose until testing it out again right now. Like, literally right now as I'm writing this up. It's actually pretty great. Go try it out yourself and make sure to move out of the pose to activate the rest of the gesture. The Manderville Mambo? Oh my god, hell yes. What more needs to be said? Armor. The Bale armor is sick, although color customization is kind of disappointing. The armor plating is a permanent black, with only the trimming being able to change colors. Overall, limiting what colors look good on the actual code itself. Omega attire falls under a reoccurring theme for me. I see certain weapons and armors in screenshots and videos and am left pretty disappointed. Then I actually put it on in-game and I fall in love with it. Changing the color to primarily white with black accents really did a lot for me. Can't forget about the Palico's Marlboro armor. It's awesome and I love it. It even has a unique animation as well. Alright, weapons. We get 3 this time around. Holy crap. The Shadowbringer Greatsword is the closest thing we have to Guts' sword, and every time I throw it on, I get an overwhelming desire to yell out Griffith. Fantastic design. I never tried out the whole gimmick with the actual weapon since I only use it as layered, but I did see others use the Shadow Wave a few times and that was pretty cool. I'd be interested to see how effective the bubble shield you can summon is in regular hunts. Oh, on that note, we also got Soul of the Pictomancer, which works similarly to Akuma's moves where you select it from your item bar. Really cool visually, but I never actually tried it out against Omega. I know myself, I would have carded 3 times in one go if I even attempted to implement that in the hunt. Super awesome, but seeing the Moogle appear just made me wish we got a Moogle outfit for our Palico, which we did in World and is likely the reason why we didn't in Wilds. Alright, back to actual weapons. Both the Sword and Shield and Insect Glaive have similar designs and they're both pretty great, with the Insect Glaive getting Omega as a Kinsect. Not nearly as cool as the Dragon Soul Kinsect in World, but okay I guess. Once again, didn't love them until I had them in my hands, and the fact that you summon these weapons to make them appear reminded me so much of Shiro Emiya. And if anything reminds me of Fate, it's automatically the greatest thing in existence. And that's it. Psych, we got the motherfucking Chocobo! Easily the best part of this collaboration, and it looks so fucking good. He's so goddamn adorable. I also made sure to do a comparison, and yes, they actually gave him the Chocobo Trot compared to any other sacred mount. This was not a lazy skin. On top of that, having the FF14 Chocobo theme playing when you mount up is so fun. But you better believe I'm turning that off because I don't want to listen to that every time. So, Title Update 3. Was it good? Despite Nursilla feeling like a brand new monster, the simple fact is that we won't see this version supported forward, and that's incredibly disappointing. Yes, Omega is incredible. Yes, we got so many Final Fantasy related rewards and it was all free. Yes, we get more quality of life things to make the game better, and we even got new quest completion scenes and what we prefer to see. It's all fantastic. No, I'm not going to count 9-star monsters in this assessment since it technically wasn't part of Title Update 3. So in the end, the content is absolutely fantastic, but we should have gotten a returning monster to the roster. Once you're done with Omega, that's pretty much it. If it's anything like Behemoth and World, then there won't be a Master Rank version of the hunt. If we just got one more monster, that would have made this sort of, I really don't want to say lackluster. Let's say it simply would have made Title Update 3 feel complete. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm being overly negative. I 100% had a blast with this collaboration. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing or becoming a member of the channel, and follow me on Twitch for more of my shenanigans. Most importantly, hit up the Discord where you can keep up with all my projects, uploads, and live streams. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching, and happy hunting!